Hello, my name is Inos and welcome back to my channel. This is Work and Wonder. If this is your first time, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, and anytime I upload the video, you'll be notified and you'll come straight here and take a look at whatever video that I have uploaded. I talk a lot about the mental health Osce, the mental health CVT, anything mental health nursing, then this is the right channel for you. Now, I'm going to continue with the mental health Osce, but today I want to talk about mania because I've had a lot of comments or a lot of emails from people who are saying that I kind of talk a lot about depression and suicidal ideation. Now, if you are to do your Osce, you know very well that within the assessment station, it's either you are getting depression and suicidal ideation or you'll be getting mania. These are the only two phases. There are a whole lot of mental health disorders, but these are the ones that NMC has decided to choose for you to be examined on. So either you get a patient who has depression and suicidal ideation or you get a patient who has mania. I have videos on depression. I have a lot of videos on depression, but the videos on mania are kind of very limited. So today I have decided to do a video on mania. I'm not going to take you through the process of the assessment in terms of mania, but there are some very key things that I want you to understand. And once you understand it, it becomes very, very easy for you if you go into your exams and then the phase that you get is the manic phase. Now, we know very well that the opposite of depression is mania. So either you are depressed, you are down, or you are manic, you are up there. And we know that mania is mainly characterized by hyperactivity and restlessness. Hyperactivity and restlessness. And along the line, it comes with some bit of delusions. Now, I'm going to explain that when you are manic, you can't just sit. You're just moving about, you're talking, you are talking out loud, you are just restless, you're just moving up and down. And in that state or in that situation, it can also come with delusions. So you can find somebody who is in the manic state talking about, the father being the richest president in the world. If it's a female, they are going to be marrying the richest footballer in the world. So when you have a manic patient, you can have them speaking about things like that, which is much more like delusionally driven. It is normal of them. But now, one thing you need to know is once you know that mania is characterized by hyperactivity and restlessness, then you can take it from there. And one thing about the manic state in the assessments is that they always give you every single thing that you need to know in the presenting complaints. You know that in the assessment, they're going to give you the candidate note, they give you your scenario, and then they give you overview of the patient history. That is if it is in the manic state, these are the three. But if it is in the depression, then you're going to get a PHQ-9 in addition to that. Now, because we are talking about the mania, let's assume they've given you the scenario, they've given you the candidate note, and then they've given you the overview of the patient history. If you go to the overview of the patient history, it is going to tell you about the presenting complaints. And sometimes it gives you the past presenting complaints or over the few weeks, the presenting complaints. And when you read that, it is going to tell you a whole lot. It's going to tell you whether the patient has been eating well, whether the patient has been sleeping well, whether the patient has had any injuries with regards to the patient restlessness, because the patient is restless, whether they are having any injuries and whether they are having any delusional teams as well. This is going to tell you. So now that you know this will help you to be able to guide you to be able to ask the relevant questions. So for example, if you have a patient who has had injuries because of the restlessness, what it means is that because of the patient hyperactivity or restlessness, it is leading to a problem of what? Injuries. And because the patient is still restless, if that restlessness doesn't calm down, or if the patient doesn't really calm down or come to that stage where it's a bit calm, then it's going to lead to more injuries. At the point, once you know that there will be risks for more injuries if nothing is done about it. Now, let's look at the second thing. The patient is very restless. The patient has delusional themes of getting ready for the biggest marriage in the world. And because of that, the patient doesn't even have time to eat. It is stated in the presenting complaints. So at this point, you can throw it back at the patient. I can see that you are not having any proper nutritional intake. Is that the case? Patient says yes. How many days has this been going on? The patient tells you. Why is it so? The patient is going to tell you. And if you look at the number of days the patient has not had any proper nutritional intake, if you look at the MAST2, you will see that once it goes beyond 5 days, then there is a concern about it, because the patient can easily go into malnutrition, or there's a risk for malnutrition. So if the patients have not had proper nutrition intake for 7 days, I always sip on, energy drinks. Then here there is a problem here, because there could be malnutrition. The malnutrition has not happened yet, but there could be malnutrition. And here you can write what the risks for malnutrition. Now let's look at another thing that hyperactivity can cause. It is stated in the presenting complaints that the patient does not have time to sleep, because he or she thinks she's writing the biggest book in the world. So because of that, she stays awake throughout the night and only have like 1 hour sleep. He wakes up and then he goes straight to writing again. In this case, if the patient does not sleep for more than 4 days or for more than 3 days, then sleep also becomes a problem. So in this same regard, hyperactivity, because the patient is restless, is also leading to the sleeplessness or difficulty in sleeping. And here you can also get that as a problem. So you can see that with mania, it is very, very simple. That's why I don't really talk about it much. Once you look at the presenting complaints, you are able to tell, or you'll be able to even envision the problems that the patient will be having without even asking the patient. But here, because it's an assessment, you would have to ask the patient to confirm that. You don't need a PHQ-9. People are complaining that why are they giving a PHQ-9 in depression and they are not giving a PHQ-9 in mania. Ideally, the main purpose of a PHQ-9 is to assess the severity of depression. So there's no it wouldn't make sense if they are giving you a PHQ-9 in mania. Yes, you can have a PHQ-9, because we know that people who have mania, it is possible that they have bipolar disorder. So they sometimes switch into the depression mode, and sometimes they switch into the manic mode. And it will make sense that when the patient was in the depressive mode, a PHQ-9 was used, and now they've presented that PHQ-9 to you, and then you can see some 1 or 2 things on it which will be very, very helpful in your assessment. But you do not need a PHQ-9 in order to get all the problems, or in order to be able to get the current risks that the patient is going through in the manic phase. So it's basically as simple as that. I don't like talking about it, because when they give it to you, once you even begin talking to the patient will be able to tell you all the things that you need to know. And with mania, it is much more of common sense as well, because sometimes the presenting complaints that will be giving you, there will be some information there that is very, very important, or that is worth exploring. For example, if you have a male patient who, when he is depressed, he takes a lot of alcohol, and when he takes a lot of alcohol, he becomes a bit hostile or agitated. And within the social history, they have stated that he has a child of 1 year, and then a mother, a wife, and they've already stated that he becomes hostile. So when he becomes hostile, who does he become hostile to? That would definitely be the kid and then the wife. And in this case, if you are assessing such a patient, would you leave that particular patient on the community for continuity of care? Of course, no. You will need to kind of suggest an admission to take away, that the patient away from his family, so that risk that he poses when he's in the manic state to the child and then the wife will be taken away until he's fully treated, he's well, his mental state significantly improves, and then the patient can now return back to his family. So in as much as you are looking out for, presenting complaints and other things, you should also look out for some of these petty things. If not, if you are assessing such a patient and you still leave the patient if it's a community based and you leave the patient on the community, they can fail you, because the risk with which the patient is at risk to himself, and it has risk to the immediate people that is also around him. These are some of the things that you have to look at if you are giving an assessment station, or if your assessment station is on the manic phase. It's just basically as simple as that. This is just all about the manic phase, and I hope I've been able to explain for you to understand some of the things that you have to look out for if you are doing your assessment and you get the manic phase. I still have my care plan, which I'll put a link under the description. Just click on it. It's going to send you to seller.com, where You just pay a little fee and then you can have access to my model care plan that I've already drawn. I also have my API booklet there, which you can also have access to that as well. So those of you that have been asking for the link, yeah, you have to just click there and then it sends you, then you can make your purchase from that place. That is by way of helping my channel also grow. And if you have any other questions with regards to the Manic phase, you can also put it in the comment section, or you can send me an email. I always leave my email under the description, and you can also send me an email. My name is Enos, and this is Work and Wonder. Until I see you in my next video, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and then turn on the notification bell, and anytime I upload my next video, you can easily have access to that. Until I see you in my next video, it is bye for now.